Hello, I'm Indrajit. I'm a postdoc with SPMS NTU. So I wanted to create a website that helps learn complex concepts. The motivation was that when you try to learn these things, they are interconnected, but it becomes very difficult to assimilate all of the things at once. And then you start learning one thing, and then you miss out a few other, and you start building a picture which is not complete, and then you go back and then you unlearn a lot of things, then you learn a lot of things, and this takes a while. So it might take 1 month to learn something. With this, what I was trying to build is that the AI agent researches all the relevant matters. It puts it in a learning curve so that you learn one thing one by one, and as you progress on learning a certain thing, you can interact with the AI agent to keep on asking more and more and try to understand it in different ways, so in the way that you understand the best. So that was the motivation. So then I started with Cloud Code, and I asked the co-work to research everything. So I took, as an example, I took one topic. This is quantum geometry, and I asked it to research everything that's relevant on the quantum geometry, and how would you start teaching to somebody who does not know a lot of it, and how do you start at 2 levels. So the idea here is that when you come here and you say, let's start learning, it has already mapped out all the necessary prerequisites that you need to learn this subject, and then these are in the increasing level of complexity. If you start, for example, with this topic, and this is the fundamental expression where it starts to give you the basics of it. This has got two ways it can do it. So first is this intuitive way, in which it starts to explain everything in a layman's term. Even if without knowing a lot of physics or mathematics, you can start to understand what is the basic need for it. And I think this is very, very important, even for a physicist, not to get entangled into math, but rather to understand the physical relevance of all of these things. And then you can toggle here, and it starts giving you the formulation for the person who needs a little more in-depth clarity on that. There's also an AI agent here on the right hand side, so which I can talk to, and I can say things like this. And it asks what do you require, and then it starts giving me the formulation. Then the idea here for the agent is it starts from the layout, but what I found in most of the LLMs is that you ask it a question, it gives you something, and then it continues to move ahead even if you don't want it to. So the idea here was it gives you what you asked for, and it says, are you ready for the next step? I say, okay, show me the formulation, and then it starts to brief the formulation for me. Right.
Fantastic. May I ask you some questions?
Yeah, sure.
So before you started this course, had you ever built an AI agent or coded a platform?
No, none of them. No.
Okay. And if I may take you back to day one, okay, you're obviously an academic. You've done lots of research in your time. What did we do from a research perspective that was different? And if anything, was there a takeaway that you would leverage going forward, just on the research component as a methodology?
Okay. So I think the methodology was focused on using the capabilities of Cloud Code and Lovable and syncing all of them together. So I think that was very nice, because if you look at it academically, you always think of trying to start from the top, from the bottom, and then start building it slowly. By the time you build something, you already know a lot of things. But here it was like you start working with what has already been done. So you reference that and you start building on top of it. So this was very quick.
So this is the end result.
Yes.
I want to go back to the research. How did we do the research? What was different?
As in the Cloud co-work.
We used Claude co-work, and
Yes.
then what did we do?
We asked it first to generate a second brain, and for that we wanted it to acquire all the relevant information, and then put it in the second brain.
Okay, so explain to me what Claude cohort does. It builds you a folder structure. It creates a second brain.
Yes.
Why do you think that's important?
Well, because this is like whenever you make an agent and you start interacting with the agent has to have some sort of a backend that we talked of, some sort of references, and this is like, I look at it as a consistent database, right? So if every time the agent is going to the internet and it fetches different things, there is no consistency in what the agent tells you, right? Because it draws random things, and then it starts to, every time the agent has to make sense, and then it probably understands them differently every time it makes a search. This way, you're already putting everything in context, and then the agent has a consistent line of thinking, which makes it easier. For example, in this case, any user, when he comes to this any other time, he would get a consistent feedback from the agent, rather than the agent giving new ideas every time and the user is confused because last time you said something else, now you're saying something else, I don't understand what is happening. So I think that's important, yes.
Very good, very good. So if I may just inquire a bit, before you had this website, and it's not just a website, it's a website where you've created, if I understand correctly, specific learning modules.
Yes.
And each learning module has its own AI agent.
Yes.
Okay. So before that, how would you typically learn, and what was missing, and what problem does this solve for you? And how do you envisage taking this forward?
So before this, if I start from the very, very basic, where we did not even have things like Gemini. It was all random, right? So it was, you start to get in small pieces of information, and then in your head you start to make maps of all them together, right? And that's why I said in the first place that it would take you 1 month just to go through all of this, because you are learning, unlearning, learning, unlearning, and trying to modify the map as you go by. What this solves is, it brings all the relevant information in a specific way, in which it is easier for you to consume slowly as you digest one layer. But even at, for example, this module, so this is the module that a beginner would like to learn, right? But what the AI agent does is, it will not just guide you through the module, but for example, if you don't understand what is written here in your way, you have an option to talk to the AI agent, and you will start to twist the thing until you look at it in a way you understand it. It might also go back on the internet and draw you some relevant videos and say, okay, you don't understand this particular aspect. So it's definitely very, very high level of learning.
So it's essentially a personalized mentor that
Yes.
can dial up, dial down according to
Yes.
your needs.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Do you foresee sharing this? Is this just for your own consumption, or are you going to share this with peers? What's your vision for this product?
Well, this can actually do a lot of things. So, for example, you have people trying to learn stuff. So, this can be something that everybody shares, right?
Nice.
This can be very, very generic, not just for people who are learning a specific course, but also people who just want to understand. If, as a researcher, even if I come across something faintly going on in computer science, and I say, this is probably what might link to my research, and I might borrow some ideas from there, it's very easy for me to just focus on that topic in that domain, instead of trying to learn all of computer science and understand that topic, and even use the AI agent to start to map it for me as to what things are common in between them. So I think it's very nice.
Puiwa, if you have a question.
If I understand correctly, the starting point before and after, I know LV has asked the question. Let me ask one more time. If I do not have this, and if I want to know a subject matter like quantum geometry,
Yes.
the old way is I go in and I Google it,
Yes.
and it gives me the whole long list of whatever.
Yes.
Right? For those who are familiar with research, or even those who are not familiar with research, there are lots of resources. Google Scholars has got resources, a lot of published paper, you'll be able to get this. So you are helping, so the problem that you are solving is to helping a learner who want to find out more about quantum geometry, goes into the website and be able to have a very high level understanding or even a deeper understanding
Yes.
of this subject matter,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
And if he or she, the learner, wants to go a little bit more deeper, obviously, using the website, will continue as
Yes.
the message follow, just as
Yes.
what we are familiar
Yes, 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 yes.
with that. Okay.
Yes.
And the next question is, if I want to scale it up to, you have developed it, if I want to deploy it in a university context, just within NTU, can we just put it up onto our learning management systems or whatever, so that
Yeah.
anyone, whether or not graduate student like yourself or even undergraduate like yourself, will be able to go in and
So we use it.
understand
Sure,
the
sure.
topic
Yes.
on quantum geometry.
Yes, yes.
Final question. With the knowledge that you have learned over the last
3 days.
3 days, so you came in with very scanty knowledge of
Yeah.
how to build agents.
Yes.
Now 3 days later, if I want to, so let's say it's quantum geometry, I turned it around and
A different
just
field.
pick it up. Thermodynamics,
Sure.
it will do exactly the same thing,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
the methodology,
Yeah, the pipeline is there.
is the
Yes.
same whatever.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
it helps the learner to condense it
Yes.
in terms of shortening.
Sure. Yes.
Fantastic.
It does.
Okay. During the 3 days, first day when you come in, and now as you look back for the last 72 hours, what was your main problem that you encountered over the 72 hours in coming to from nothing, blank, and coming to this? What's your major challenge and how did you go about overcoming that challenge?
I think that major challenge was not knowing how these things are connected. So cloud code, but cloud co-work, and how that connects to Lovable,
Okay.
how that connects to even Obsidian file structure. So we did not know how these elements are connected.
Okay.
And then and how the prompt, the stress on prompting, that was it. Yes.
Okay. So before this, your knowledge is probably how to prompt at a
Gemini,
AI,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
This one allows you to build a
Yes.
symphony, an orchestra.
Exactly,
Whatever.
exactly.
Previously, you only know what
One-
the string instruments are for, what the percussion is for, what the wind instrument is for.
Yeah.
Now you're able to bring the whole thing
Yeah.
move into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, good. Well
Let's
done.
give him a round of applause.